Have you ever wished that you could live the rest of your life without certain people? On Kev Talks today, I'm going to take you through the project people cards that you are dealt with and the 2 winning streaks for your hand. Now, when people are given to you on a project, you have absolutely no say in terms of who lands up on your project. It is typically the functional or line manager that seconds resources to your project. And we get a number of types of resources on our project. And the first resource is the ace. Now we have resources that ace the project, and we have resources that only ace their work when they're in the functional line. We then have the king resources. Now on our project, the king resources can lead their teams well, or they're disjointed from the project manager and the kings lead their teams in a totally different direction. We then have the queens. Now the queens can be the empathetic resources on our projects, or they could be drama queens on our projects. We then have the jacks, and we could have very positive jacks of all trades on our projects, and we could have jacks that play a totally negative role on our project. We then have the jokers, and jokers can bring a lot of fun and a lot of energy to the project, but jokers could also create a lot of chaos on our project. Now, taking our deck of resources and the cards that we are dealt with on a project, we have the diamonds. And the diamonds are resources that shine on our project, but they could also be resources that we can't find on our project. We also have the spades, and we have the resources that can close the holes for us and take the obstacles out of our way, or they could dig holes for the project manager and the team to fall into. We then have the clubs. And the resources that are the clubs on our project are the resources that can break down the barriers that we experience on a project. Or they could be the resources that want to club the project manager from behind. We then have the hearts. And we have resources on our projects that want to be part of the project and want to deliver on the project. And we have resources on our project that's not in their hearts to be part of our project. Now we're going to look at 2 tactics in terms of overcoming the issues that I've explained. And the first one is directive communication. And directive communication has 2 specific areas, colored brain and emotional drivers. Now, I was fortunate enough to attend a program on directive communication and colored brain, and I found it extremely innovative and informative in terms of how we as leaders can manage our teams. I'm firstly going to look at colored brain. Now, colored brain is an assessment that is done online as part of the program. And it looks at 4 different brains in colors. And we have the purple brain, we have the blue brain, we have the green brain, and we have the red brain. And based on the assessment, the individual is plotted into one of these areas. And the colored brain looks at our genetic wiring. And there's a certain area on the colored brain mapping that we cannot change. It's fixed, it's who we are. And there are other colors that are nurtured either by our environment, what we've learned in our lives, etc. So in terms of the colored brain, I am a green colored brain, which means I am action-driven, fluid, directive, I communicate well, and I'm the sort of person, or the colored brain people, to get things done, they're perceived to be, and that's how I see myself as well. And then we have the blue brain, and the blue brain people are friendly, they are considerate, a huge concern for people, creative, and team players. Not saying that that the green or any others that I'm going to explain are not team players, but they're more so. We then have the purple brain. Now, the purple brain individuals are detailed orientated to a very, very strong degree. They are highly organized in terms of how they work and how they deliver things on their projects and in their life. And they are practical and very orientated. The last color is the red brain. Now, the red brain, to summarize before I go into the elements, are great strategists. If you want somebody to bounce strategy off, you go to your red brain people. Now, our red brain people are extremely organized. They are very objective driven. They think through things before they act. And as I said, they are great strategists. They strategize everything. So in directive communication, two key components are the colored brain, understanding the colored brain, and then the emotional drivers of each individual. And the emotional drivers are our psycho-emotional needs as individuals. It's what we have learned from our parents, what we have learned from our teachers, what we've learned from life experiences, and the environments that we have operated within. And the emotional drivers are 8, and they comprise of love and belonging, control and security, diversity, recognition and significance, achievement, challenge and growth, excellence, and responsibility and contribution. Now, if we take the emotional drivers of each individual and we take the colored brain understanding and we pull these together, we have such a better chance of success on our project in terms of who we are working with. And what is important is who we are as project managers. We need to make it very evident to our resources what color brain we are and what our emotional drivers are. So that is the first element of directive communication. The second element is the challenge. And the challenge is, as a project manager, when starting to work on a project and you are allocated a resource, sit across the table with that resource. You each take a blank piece of paper and you write each other's job descriptions. And you will be amazed when you look at those job descriptions. They are very different to what HR or the organization has developed and put in place for these individuals. We need to contract between each other. What are our rules of the game? What do I expect from you as a resource? And what do you expect from me as a project manager? Now, if we take colored brain, we take the emotional drivers, and we take our job descriptions of what do we expect from each other, it makes such a better recipe for success. I'm coming to you from Toju, one of my favorite coffee shops. We're traveling around all coffee shops, supporting them during and after COVID-19. Make a great latte, and I'll see you on the next talk.